The global financial establishment has just unleashed the ultimate psychological weapon to keep the masses in a state of total confusion and distraction, while the foundations of the Western monetary system are being incinerated in real time. You are being told that the release of the Epstein Files is the search for truth and justice, but the data suggests that this media explosion is a carefully timed smokescreen designed to hide a terminal inventory failure in the physical silver market. While the world's eyes are glued to a list of elite names, the bullion vaults at the COMEX and LBMA are hitting stage 0 inventory levels as the smart money quietly exits the dying dollar for the safety of hard assets. This is the great deception in its final act, where a global scandal is used to dominate the news cycle and prevent a nationwide run on the banks, while the strategic reserves of the West are being drained dry. Jeffrey Epstein was not just a socialite. He was a financier with deep, documented connections to the world's most powerful banking institutions, specifically J.P. Morgan, which has already paid hundreds of millions in fines for its involvement. The timing of this unsealing is too convenient to be an accident, occurring precisely at the moment when the silver supply-demand deficit has reached a breaking point that the banks can no longer suppress through paper manipulation alone. We are witnessing a distraction default, where the public is fed a diet of sensationalism while the institutional giants are executing a massive silver heist behind closed doors. J.P. Morgan understands that if the general public realizes the vaults are empty, the game is over for the fiat dollar, so they have authorized a media circus to keep you looking in the opposite direction. The 145 price target I am warning you about today is the mathematical gravity. Well, that silver is being pulled toward as the fake paper suppression mechanism finally reaches its terminal limit. Every time a new scandalous headline hits the ticker, the paper market is used to smash the price of silver to trigger stop-loss orders from retail investors who are too distracted by the files to realize they are being robbed. This is a battle for your financial sovereignty, and the elite are using your emotional reaction to these scandals to ensure you stay in paper assets while they secure every last physical ounce. I have spent the last 12 hours dissecting the internal warehouse reports, and the evidence of a silent default is becoming irrefutable as Indian and Chinese buying reaches record-breaking levels. India and China are not distracted by the Epstein Files. They are vacuuming up every available ounce of bullion from London and New York at a pace that has left the Western exchanges in a state of total panic. This geopolitical arbitrage is the true story of the century, as the strategic wealth of the West is being siphoned off to the rising powers while the American public is kept in a state of permanent news cycle paralysis. Once the vault empty headline finally breaks through the noise, the price of silver will gap up vertically, and the doors to acquire physical metal will be slammed shut for the average person forever. The Great Deception relies on your belief that the dollar is strong and that the system is stable, but the $36 trillion debt bomb is currently in its final countdown to detonation. Silver is the Achilles heel of the central banking cartel because it is a finite resource that cannot be printed, hacked, or duplicated to settle the mounting debts of a bankrupt financial order. The news cycle is being used as a final clearance sale for the people who actually run the world to secure their metal positions before the triple-digit price reset is announced to the public. If you are waiting for the mainstream media to tell you when to buy silver, you are already too late, because their job is to keep you looking at the list while the vaults are being emptied. The force majeure protocols are already being prepared in the boardrooms of the major exchanges, and the Epstein Files are the perfect cover to declare a system shutdown without triggering a global panic. Don't be fooled by the red candles on your screen. They are the desperate gasps of a dying fiat system trying to convince you that real money is a bad investment just before it becomes the only investment that matters. This is a battle for your financial soul. Remove your wealth from the digital matrix before the banking cartels lock the door on physical delivery and the reset becomes official. Stage 0 is real, and the exposed truth is that the biggest banks have already been bailed in through the strategic manipulation of precious metal prices. They are terrified because they know once the public realizes the truth about the shortage, there will be a global stampede that will make 2008 look minor. I'm receiving reports that family offices and private wealth managers are moving their clients' silver into deep storage, effectively removing it from the global circulation and the reach of the bullion banks. This stealth hoarding by the top 0.1% is the most bullish signal we have ever seen, as they know the window to acquire physical metal is closing with extreme speed. The general public is being led to the slaughterhouse of inflation, while the people who run the system are building lifeboats out of gold and silver to ensure their own survival. You must choose which side of history you want to be on before the markets limit up permanently and the deception is revealed to the entire world. The $145 target is the inevitable conclusion of a monetary system that has run out of time and metal to settle its debts in an honest manner, making a price reset the only way to survive. Every time the banks print a new billion-dollar short contract to smash the price, they only add fuel to the eventual short squeeze that will propel silver into triple digits. You're witnessing the final gasps of a dying monetary regime trying to maintain order through psychological warfare and elite scandals that keep the masses angry but financially paralyzed. The great deception is the belief that things will ever go back to normal, when in reality, the world has realized that paper money is a fraud and hard assets are the only reality. Global debt has reached a terminal velocity of $350 trillion, meaning there is no soft landing coming. Only a hard reset of the entire global financial infrastructure to clear the books. Physical silver is the only insurance policy that will protect your family's future from the total erasure of fiat purchasing power scheduled for the coming reset. The vaults are draining, mines are slowing down, and paper markets are fractured beyond any hope of repair by the authorities who are currently managing the news distractions. Every ounce of silver you hold is a vote against the corrupt debt-based system that has manipulated our lives for decades through the theft of our labor via inflation. The window of opportunity to buy silver at these suppressed prices is closing in weeks and days as the stage 0 inventory level is reached, and the exchanges fail to fulfill physical delivery. Once the COMEX officially declares a default or a force majeure event, the ask price for silver will disappear from the public markets entirely as no one will sell. You must act before the bid hits $50 because after that point the market will go into a permanent state of chaos where price discovery moves to the east. This is your final warning to stop listening to the mainstream media distraction and start looking at the cold data of physical silver inventories and massive global demand. I am tracking the arbitrage between New York and Shanghai daily, and the gap proves it is more profitable to ship physical silver to China than to hold any Western financial asset. This drain of Western wealth is being ignored because it reveals the total failure of the U.S. Treasury to defend the dollar's status against the rising power of the BRICS nations. When the vaults in London and New York are finally empty, the price discovery of silver will move permanently to the east, and we will see a massive revaluation of all hard assets. The current manipulation is just a minor correction in a long-term trend that will see silver become one of the most valuable substances on Earth. The out-of-stock alerts on major dealer websites are the result of a coordinated effort by large-scale buyers to secure the last physical bullion before the price reset takes place. A historic shift is occurring. The public is being priced out while the elite consolidate their positions in physical gold and silver under the cover of news scandals. If you wait until silver is back in stock at these major dealers, you will likely be paying double or triple what it is today, assuming they ever get stock back at all. The availability of metal is now more important than the paper price, and those who prioritize price over possession will find themselves with nothing. Every time a price smash occurs, the institutions are effectively devaluing the cash in your wallet to protect a systemic order that provides no value to the productive members of society. Silver is the only way to opt out of this cycle of institutional theft and secure your wealth in a form that cannot be manipulated by a central bank or news filing. The recent price volatility was the establishment's last attempt to cover their tracks before the physical reality of scarcity becomes a global headline. Do not be fooled by red candles on a screen. They are the desperate gasps of a dying regime terrified of the truth of physical silver scarcity and the end of the fiat era. This is your final call to recognize the signs of a failing system and position yourself on the right side of history by acquiring physical metal while it is still available. The stage 0 warning is the final signal that the exit door is closing, and those who fail to act now will be swept away in the hyperinflationary flood. The banks and the media are hiding the truth. The physical silver market is broken beyond repair, and a vertical price reset is imminent for all hard assets globally. Subscribe to this channel because I'm the only one tracking the raw inventory data that the establishment wants to suppress to keep the masses unprepared. The bailout is over, the dealers are empty, and the time to protect your family's future is right now before the deception is revealed to the world and the stampede begins. The $145 target is the mathematical conclusion of this current debt cycle, and the Epstein Files are the final distraction before the global monetary reset takes place. Don't be the exit liquidity for a system that has spent decades rigging the rules against you. Stay strong, keep stacking, and don't let the news files steal your financial future. This is the endgame of the fiat experiment, and silver is the only way to secure your financial sovereignty in the New World Order. Stay alert, stay physical, and remember that in a world of digital chaos, the only thing that matters is what you have in your own hand. The vaults are hitting zero, the dealers are shutting down, and the $145 trap is the final test for the silver community. Do not fall for the deception. I will continue to monitor the data and bring you the truth that the mainstream media is afraid to report, so you can stay one step ahead of the banking cartels. This is the moment we have been preparing for, and the time to secure your position is now before the final reset hits. End of transmission for today.